What does it mean to be a fighter, especially in a shonen action story like Black Clover? When it comes to shonen battle series, power is important. Even the most cerebral confrontations will be accompanied by characters beating each other up. That's why what basically boils down to a debate on the correct way to maintain peace in the world resulted in Naruto and Sasuke blowing each other's arms off. Because of this, shonen characters, especially the strong ones, will find themselves in battles with their ideologies on the line. I'm sure another video essay can be written on the idea of needing fighting power to get people to listen to you, but this isn't that video. This is to explore one of the more underrated dynamics in Black Clover's Spade Kingdom arc, the one between Princess Lolopechka, Vanica Zogratis, Magicula the curse-warding demon, and Noelle Silva. Lolopechka is in some ways an utter failure of a shonen character, not because she's weak, but because she's strong. It's quite easy to forget given her timid nature and lack of combat ability, but Lolopechka is an extremely powerful queen. With the accumulated knowledge and power of the queens before her and her own vast amounts of mana, she's able to basically control and monitor the entirety of her kingdom on her own at all times. Couple that with her bond with the water spirit Undyne and it makes her an absolute force of power. And yet her most consistent trait is her lack of combat ability. With a gentle heart and an abhorrence of violence, she simply doesn't have the capacity to be a great fighter. With a magic system that takes a lot of inspiration from its user's personality, it's significant that she couldn't learn a single attack spell. Even pure-hearted nuns like Sister Lily have methods of attack available to them. It's this combination that puts her in so much danger. She has a lot of power and knowledge, enough to be targeted by the Spade Kingdom, but no capacity to truly use it to defend herself on her own. While Lolo had the will to protect her allies, which allowed her to help in the fight against Vanica, she lacked the fighting spirit to stand a chance. Vanica, on the other hand, is a woman who loves and craves battle, to the point of sneaking off to the Clover Kingdom to fight Asta Silva just because she heard she's strong. A woman like Lolo may sound like the perfect opponent, but all Vanica would ever find going up against her would be disappointment, as she did when Lolo broke down in their second fight in the Hard Kingdom. However, there was one new factor that would gain Vanica's attention: Noelle Silva. Even at a state where she had less magic power than Lolo and truly stood no chance in a fight, she was the one who got up to keep fighting, showing a fighting spirit that pushed her farther and made her more of a match to what Vanica wanted than the Hat Queen. Even on the verge of defeat, Vanica noted that Noelle was getting a new spell added to her grimoire, a testament to her spirit and capability as a fighter. A capability that had Vanica itching for a rematch, leading to her kidnapping Lolo in order to force Noelle to get stronger. And the Vanica portion of Noelle's rematch in the Spade Kingdom is significant in the way it contrasts both Vanica and Noelle's approach to Lolo's life. Vanica uses her curses to coerce Lolo into fighting, making her a serious threat. In her own perverse way, this is her method of sharing her greatest pleasure with the Hat Queen. On the other side is Undyne, who went out of her way to avoid telling Lolo about Saint's stage to not force her into undue pressure to fight. And while it was foolish of her to keep a whole power up that is perfectly suited to fighting devils a secret, it was ultimately a result of her desire to protect Lolo's kind heart. And Noelle affirms her desire to protect Lolo and agrees to work with the spirit to defeat Vanica, achieving Saint's stage. To Vanica, as a strong mage, she needs nothing more than the ability to fight. Anything else will just get in the way and wear you out. She said as much to Asta about her kids when they fought. Asta turned this around on her by proving to be able to get stronger in order to protect Noelle and Noelle, which allowed her to, well, I'm not sure I can say beat considering she ultimately died from a curse, but she did drive her away. And while Vanica learned how strong one can get to protect people they cared about, she failed to internalize that lesson, still avoiding anything that could get in the way of a pure fight and relying solely on the devil that made her stronger, while discarding her allies and worshippers with ease. On the other hand, Lolo's friends worked together to protect her and cover for her inability to fight for herself, because she shouldn't be forced to change to hurt others just to accommodate their more violent world. And when all was said and done, Noelle and Gaja were able to save Lolo while Magicula tried to sacrifice Vanica in order to manifest herself, Because Vanica only lived to pleasure her desire to fight with no foundation, she had nothing to fall back on. No goals beyond getting the next big fight, no allies, just the source of a majority of her power deciding to kill her. A meaningless, directionless hedonist. Vanica didn't lack the spirits to approach a challenge. Being defeated was not the end for her. She craves battle, not victory, and losing just meant that she herself will need to get stronger to compete. In the face of having her 100% form, a new level of power she'd never reached before, being totally defeated in under a minute, her fighting spirit never wavered. She never gave up or fell into despair or bemoaned how impossible it was. She was faced with a power greater than hers, and giving up never crossed her mind. But she lacked any real drive or urgency to not lose the battle, because all she wanted was the battle itself. Where Lolo lacked the fighting spirit, Vanica lacked the will. And Noelle had both, which made her perfectly suited for her next opponent, Magicula, who planned to sacrifice both Vanica and Lolopechka to manifest in the human world. Both Vanica and Magicula share a fascination with human resilience, especially in the desire to protect something dear to you. Vanica, while not properly internalizing the idea, was aware enough to use it to try and force Noelle to get stronger. To her, it was simply a tool to gain better fights. Magicula, on the other hand, had a clinical fascination with it, in the same way scientists may be interested in the evolution of a fly. She considered humans to be excellent toys in that regard. Like every other supreme devil of the underworld, she believed that nothing could trump the power she had, and thought of humans as nothing more than playthings to take advantage of. As she lords over her seemingly defeated opponents, she asks them to just give up. But Noelle knows that is not an option. They fight not because they can win, but because they have no choice but to fight. To give up would be to just lay down and accept death. To accept this devil would always be above them. And in a way, Magicula was right. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that no one who she encountered in the human realm actually stood a chance against her. Noelle, Gaja, Rail, Charlotte, Lolopechka, Locke, Noelle, Asta without his devil union. It would have made sense to give up. But it was also something that couldn't be done, even with humanity's ability to surpass expectations. But Noelle refused to give up anyway. Everyone refused to give up. Because as inevitable as loss seemed, loss was not an option. And while Magicula may have been too powerful, she failed to consider the effects of the humans she fought supporting each other. How could she? She herself had modeled her plan to leave the underworld as something she would do on her own without the knowledge of the other devils. The entire society of the underworld is built essentially on your individual power. But everyone rallied around each other. Gaja, for his love of Lolopechka, succeeded in destroying Magicula's body even within her decaying world curse. Charlotte turned the power of her own curse around to become capable of weakening curses with her roses. Rail took inspiration from Noelle's Saint stage and created a spell that would keep his allies in the fight and make them stronger. Gaja, Locke and Noelle acted as shields to protect Noelle and get her closer to Magicula's heart. And Noelle, with the support of those around her, was able to reach the demon that so confidently flew above them, being the only one with the power to actually defeat her. Now that's how you win a shonen battle. Vanica and Magicula were overconfident in their power. They saw others as tools for their amusement and underestimated what people would and could do when everything was on the line. To Vanica, the will to protect was just a tool to get stronger opponents, while to Magicula, it was something that made humans durable playthings. And by using the power of their connections and pressing on in the face of unbeatable odds, the Clover Heart Alliance won, defeated the devil and saved Lolopechka, protecting her and her kindness. That's the essence of being a fighter, especially in an action-packed genre of shonen battle series. The spirit to use violence to shape the world, even in the face of overwhelming power, isn't enough. The will to accomplish something that makes you try with all your might isn't enough. You need both to truly reach new heights as a combatant. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more content. Thank you, and good day.